Welcome to Watertown Sports Talk, everyone. I'm Dick Najarian. If you've lived in Watertown for any length of time, or if you're new to Watertown, you probably have heard of my guest. He's sitting here with me, and his name is Bob Cappadonna. Dona. Let's get that right, everybody. Everybody gets that wrong, and we're going to straighten it out today. Bobby Cappadonna. Bob, as you know, or if you don't know, was an outstanding athlete at Watertown High School, a state scoring champion in football, played at Notre Dame, was a boxing champion at Notre Dame, transferred to Northeastern, where he played football as an All-American, went on to have a pro career with the then Boston Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, and also with the Washington Redskins. Just an all-around great athlete and probably the best football player ever produced in Watertown, and probably one of the greatest players ever to come out of New England. So he's our guest today, and he's a member of many halls of fame. I can't mention them all because there's too many, but he's a true athletic legend, and he's with me today. Glad to have you here, Bob.
Thank you very much, Dick. That's a wonderful introduction.
Folks, we did a show with Bob about 6 months ago, and it was one of the highest rated shows in the history of Watertown Cable. So we're back to do a second show, a little different theme, but we're going to talk about sports in general, football particularly, with an expert ex-pro football player. All right, Bob, again, welcome. Let's talk.
Are you going to tell them how you told me to keep my answers short? Instead of last time I just carried on?
No, you didn't carry on. The last time you were excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. The show got great reviews. People stopped me on the street. I'm not kidding now. This is for real. They said, that show you did with Bobby Cappadonna was great.
That's good.
We didn't know that about him. Yeah. We didn't know that about him. They kept saying that over and over.
And that's true, because it hasn't, we never
really it wasn't out there to the public. So I think, Bob, it was good of you to do it. And it was good of you to let people know the real guy.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, and it was great.
And thank you for having me back.
Nah, my pleasure. Are you kidding? The ratings are soaring here. All right, let's talk about the NFL and criticism of the NFL in terms of players getting concussions. There's a lot of talk about concussions and players coming back too soon after concussions and head injuries. What is it? The helmet? Is the helmet not good enough? And I know they've changed over the years.
They have changed, obviously, and they've tried to make them safer, and they do all these testings on the impact.
I know they do.
The thing that one of the biggest issues, I think, is that because the players have gotten so much bigger and stronger and physical, and they've taken a lot of some of the things that were illegal back when I played. I mean, now they are illegal. They weren't then, like the clothesline and the chop block and the knee blocking. So it kind of slowed the game down a bit, because like the defensive ends, if we had a defensive end charging in to get the quarterback, they would, if you look at them today, they just come running in with their hands up, and there's no concern about anybody taking them out. We were taught, if they come in, their hands are up, we just take them out at the knees.
Really?
And just take them right down. So they used to come in with their hands down, and they're a little bit more tentative with that rush coming in as they are today. So I think they're coming with more speed. I don't know if they're that much, I mean, they're faster, obviously, but
probably,
I mean, a tenth of a second in a 40-yard dash or something like that sort. So it's not mind-shattering. So they were fast back then. It's just that they were a lot more restricted on how they could attack the quarterback and the running backs. So I think now you've got two people coming full tilt, and they're just banging.
But you can't hit head to head, right?
They can't. But it happens.
A crack with the head.
Absolutely. But a lot of it is being snapped to the ground, and
when your head hits, that's right.
And then this concussion, I mean, they've always happened. I think today it's become, it's more in the news today because some big name players, and now the NFL Players Association is starting to step up.
They're stepping into it and talking about it. And I'll take it a step further. I'll give you a statistic. Student athletes, high school athletes, show 5 to 10% in high contact sports like football, hockey, wrestling, will sustain concussions. It's about 10% in high school players as well.
It's amazing.
Yeah. The question is, what do we do about that?
Well, that's the question. I don't know if you have to change something. The equipment, I mean, they're improving the equipment every day. I mean, the helmets are unbelievable compared to, if you look at an old football helmet as compared to what the Patriots are wearing.
How about an old leather helmet?
Yeah, well, I didn't go back that far.
Not you, but no, I meant way back.
No, I understand. Yeah. And there's certainly a big difference. Even when I played, and even in the last 5 or 6 years, big difference in the helmets and the equipment.
But I wonder if it still hasn't stopped the level of.
No, there's probably more. But you know, if you think back, when you used to call them, we used to get bell rung, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that happened to anybody that's ever played any contact sport, I think. Sure. But what happens is at that level, when it happens to you, you don't complain. You don't take yourself out because it was too costly. You may lose your position, you may lose your job.
I know.
So guys just say, hey, you know what? I had my bell rung, and they shake the cobwebs out and they're back in. Today, they're a little more, the doctors and everybody is there, so and they're right on the field. And it's not like, you'll be back in 5 minutes. Now it's you're out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good thing, though, don't you?
I think it is, absolutely.
Yeah. So should there be some guidelines? Well, there are guidelines, I guess, in terms of the helmets, and there are guidelines in terms of where you can hit a guy, right? Yeah. We have that now. So all those things should help, I would think. Reduce the number of concussions.
I think and again, they've taken out some of the blocking and some of the things they used to be able to do to protect the players.
Yeah,
and even the quarterback. Look at the quarterback rule, the different because of what happened to Brady.
Exactly.
So they are trying to improve the safety standards and improve the equipment, and I think it will. I think you'll see some numbers. I think the turf has changed some things.
Yeah, that too as well, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So there has been a lot of changes in the NFL over the years. And same with in levels.
Yeah. Bob, what is there a mental aspect of a concussion? You have a concussion, football, you recover from it, doctors say you're okay to go. Do you think there's a mental aspect about now I got to get back in there? Are they nervous about it mentally, about getting hit again? I'm going to get another concussion. If I have more than 1, 2, 3, something's going to happen to my brain, my head. Yeah. Is there a mental aspect, in your opinion?
I think right now they're probably more aware of it than we were when I was playing. Yeah. I think, you know what I mean? Like I said, you get hit sometimes, and I mean, I got hit. I'll tell you quick. I got hit by Nick Bonaconti in a scrimmage, and
you knew it.
And we both went down. Yeah. And I kind of rolled over, and I knew that I was a little.
Was it a concussion at that point?
Well, see, you don't know because you never said to the doctor, "Hey, doc,
I got a concussion."
I think I have a concussion. They're going to say, "Well, take a break, have a glass of water, and you're back in." And,
right.
So that has changed, and I think the people are more aware of it. The league's more aware of it. The players are more aware of it. So, to answer your question, I guess, is that if something happens today, I think that the player is more apt to just say, hey, you know what, I've got hit and I've been dizzy and I don't want to take a chance.
I need to take it. I
need to take it. Exactly.
Get some time out of there. Yeah. Bob, speaking of injuries, did you have any serious injuries when you played?
I had
either in college or in pro.
In college, I actually injured my knee. I tore my ligaments in my knee just before, right after the draft.
Oh,
and
boy.
actually,
not a good time, right?
No, it was not, and the timing was not good. But they wanted to operate, and the doctor, thank God, Dr. Lane at Northeastern said that he would not operate, that he would cast it for 6 to 8 weeks.
Hope that it would heal.
It would heal by itself, and if it needed surgery, then they would do it. And the league almost insisted I had the surgery, and he said no. And thank God I didn't have it done, and it's never bothered me. The only injury I've got an arm that I can't fully straighten out, but that was. But other than that, I mean, when I go to these meetings and see some of these other ball players,
you're looking good.
I feel very comfortable.
Looking good.
Yeah.
So your knees and your hips are good.
Knees, hips are fine. As far as I know.
You would know. Yeah. As a running back in pro football, knees, hips.
Well, that's where you take the punishment.
Yeah, you take the punishment. So if yours are good,
so knock on wood.
Yeah, and we're happy for that as well. Yeah. All right, I'm going to switch around a lot.
You go right ahead.
Today, all right, we're going to let's talk about Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. Let's talk about him. He's been suspended for the first 6 games of the season for allegedly inappropriate action with a young woman. Now, it's not the first time for him.
No.
It's been a couple.
No.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Should that suspension, was that a good thing to suspend him for 6 games? Should he be out of football? Should he be suspended for the year? Or, again, it's alleged.
Yeah.
So they're going to talk about
exactly.
it. So
you know, there's a lot of, and this goes not only just with Ben, but there's a whole list of players.
But he's in the limelight right now. He's in the spotlight at this moment.
And I don't want this to sound like I don't find him at fault for what he did.
No, you say whatever.
The way things are today, and the exposure that these athletes get today, that when they check into a hotel, they go to a city. I mean, there is just absolutely mobs of people trying to get to them.
Sure.
And then they're vulnerable.
There have been a lot of false accusations too made by people against athletes, and proven to be false.
Yeah. But if in his case, and again, if he is found guilty, I think they need the league. One thing I would criticize the league for is that I don't think that they impose enough punishment on the players. And it really goes even not only this type of an issue, but the drug issue. I think drugs have been around, and I can remember seeing letters that were sent to the NFL back in the early 70s, saying that there is a problem on the horizon and something needs to be addressed. And I don't think they really actively went at it. I think a lot of it was because the players' union got so strong and didn't want the random drug testing and these things. But you know what? If you get caught 2 or 3, 4 times, you have to help the player. But sooner or later, you have to draw the line. Because there's a lot of guys that would just missed an opportunity to get in this league that have done the things the right way.
That they were supposed to do.
Exactly. So I think, you know, there's a big problem with that and the exposure, like what Ben did. But I think the league nearly really stepped up the play. I think they have to. So
is suspension enough, do you think, the 6 games, or should he be gone for the year? Just an opinion.
Well, you know, my opinion would be if this is more than his first offense.
It is.
I would.
It is.
I would think.
Supposedly his second, maybe they're saying his third. Maybe.
Well, you know, maybe it should be the old adage: 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out, and you're gone.
Could be.
You know, the first year we're going to suspend you. The second offense for the season, third time you're gone.
Later. Yeah. But he is practicing with them.
Yes.
Now. Yeah. But he can't play those first 6 games.
Right. So what is?
So I don't know. Does that affect what he does? Does that affect his career? Does that affect what's in his head in terms of what he's allegedly doing? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either. I just to me. I don't know if that's a stiff enough punishment for him.
I know.
I mean, he's still hanging around with the guy, still going to practice. The only thing he's not doing is Sunday he saves his body for 6 games. And that's what he's doing.
So, I mean, is that a punishment or is that a plus?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that could be a plus.
He's got 6 games, he doesn't have to get racked up.
That's right.
Well, let's switch around again. We know that the Super Bowl is going to be played in New York in 2014. In New York, in February.
Yeah.
Okay, the NFL has this 1.6, the NFL doesn't, but New York has a $1.6 billion Meadowlands Stadium. So what do you think about playing the Super Bowl in February in New York? Open stadium.
First of all, I can't believe that it was approved.
It's done.
It's done. It's a done deal. I don't know how this is going to work. I really, I don't know how it can work. If they ever get hit with a major snowstorm, which probability is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
What are they going to do with that?
I don't know.
I mean, I just don't know how that decision was made.
Well, do they want to show off this great stadium? Is that it? Is that what the NFL wants? We get this almost $2 billion state-of-the-art stadium. We want people to see it? Or are they promoting New York? What are they promoting?
I don't know, but maybe why couldn't they have say, if they wanted to do something, bring the 2 teams that played in the Super Bowl the year before and play it in that new stadium as a kickoff for the new stadium or something like that.
They could do that as well.
They could do a lot of things. Yeah. But to have the Super Bowl on an important game like that, I mean, that is the biggest game.
Well, that's the NFL's highlight.
That's it.
That's the highlight of the whole.
I hope it's successful.
Yeah, we all do, but.
I don't know how the players feel about that because you know what?
I don't know. Yeah.
If it ends up on a warm climate team and some, I mean that
could be
there's an
difficult.
edge.